3, 2, 1. Lena got the first word in. Welcome to Keep Dreaming with Keld Bjones. The podcast that focuses on dreams and the community around it. And today we have members of Cybersheep Film on the show for the very first episode. Now I'm going to keep saying they and talking about them in the third person. I'm actually on the team for Cybersheep. I joined before episode 2, during the writing of episode 2, and I've been helping out a little bit with that. Helped out with a little writing on the future game show trailer that came out. So I am involved, but I'm going to keep saying they. And yeah, let's see where this goes. To get us started, I've got Michael, the founder of Cybersheep Film, in the chat. How are you doing today, Michael?
Hey guys, yeah, I'm doing good. It's like 12 a.m. here, so.
Oh dear. Well, thank you. You're in Thailand, is that right?
Yes, I'm in Thailand.
Well, Michael, maybe you can tell us what it's like assembling an international team, and dealing with people in different time zones all around the country.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about just about putting the team together?
Well, I think it's pretty cool, to get to know people from everywhere, from around the world, and I would say there are benefits and cons for having a team from different country. Like sometimes you wake up in the morning and the things you want it to be done is getting done, and people are nice.
So, sometimes it's already done. Sometimes you realize, I have to wait 8 hours because this person is sleeping.
Yeah, exactly.
It is funny on the writing team. I think I'm not sure where Lucas is at, but Tapgiles is in the UK and I'm in North America, and you're in Thailand. Like, we are pretty spread out as far as time zones go.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so
true.
I am learning to host this show as we go. I should have really spelled out a little more who Cybersheep Film is before I just threw it to you. Cybersheep Film, if you're familiar with Dreams, the creation engine on PlayStation, you probably know who Cybersheep Film is. You've probably seen Noguchi's Bell. That's the newest project. Episode 1 came out this year, and there's a Kickstarter for episode 2 that we're going to talk a lot about this hour. And there are others, like Rabbit and Boy was the one that got a lot of attention, a really beautiful animation. And
thanks.
And so that's kind of who they are. It's an international team. Do you know how many people are on the team, Michael?
I think there are 20 people right now. It wasn't supposed to be this much originally, but I really want to push the limits of what we are doing. So I think 20 people is like a good number right now.
It's a party.
Yeah,
that's a big team to manage. I mean, I know from projects I've tried to spin up that even managing a small team is a challenge. But 20 people.
Yeah, it's a lot, but they're really nice. I mean, we get a lot. We get a lot of things done really quickly because of the amount of people we have, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very prolific team. I was very impressed how quickly the future game show trailer got put together.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I think we took about like 5 days of writing that thing, and 2 weeks of sculpting and animating the whole thing, and then probably a week of editing. So it's just like less than a month of that thing, because we got the notice from James Jarvis very, very late to the Gamescom, and we really got to get it done real quick.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty cool.
It was a crazy fast job. How many people were involved in making the visuals for that? I helped out with the writing side with Tapgiles and Lucas. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of the other stuff that happens is a mystery to me because everyone's working in their own bubble. And how many people did it take to put together the visuals for that?
Well, there are 5 people. Like I think Saku and Putty Dog is working on the sculpture and the environment, and for the animation there are by Vincent and Asani and myself. And for the voice, it would be Danny. And I think for the editing part, it would be Hack Jazz for making all the music and for the editing,
Yeah.
everything together.
It was really impressive work. If you didn't see it, the at Dreamscom, big gaming expo every year, the Future Games Show showcase had an exclusive trailer, and yeah, that was a lot of fun helping to put that together in a short amount of time. Okay, I don't want to. I want to ask you before we get into. I want to delve into the Kickstarter in a little more detail. But before we get there, can I just ask you, Michael, what your creative background is? I'm curious. I've heard you talk a lot about dreams and how passionate you are about dreams, and I'm curious. I've also heard you talk about comparing dreams to working in Maya or Blender or things like that. So I'd like to know what your personal background is with those things, and yeah, just where do you come from?
I have never worked with Maya Blender before, but I work in an advertisement studio. So when I was a kid, I've always wanted to make movies, and when I stumbled upon cool stories like Pan Librarian, Last of Us, Samurai Jack, I would get super excited, and I wanted to do what those filmmakers did. So I would write a crappy script as a kid, like kids usually do, and yeah, that's why I work, and that's why I work in a small advertisement studio as a creative director. I would write scripts, I would do like a storyboard or preparing and picking actors and stuff, making the creative decision. And
yeah,
I think commercial is one way of expressing my story. So, but it's not completely my story. So it's more like about selling stuff like a watch or a phone,
yeah.
Maybe a bottle of water because I'm thirsty right now.
The objective is a little different.
Yeah, exactly. And I got into Dream because I see its potential, and I see the opportunity of telling the story that I've always wanted to tell. So yeah, that's my background.
Can I ask you what your first script was about?
Well,
you can say no.
Yeah, absolutely. It's more of a, how people like to, how writers usually start with their own story, more like an adaptation of themselves. I've always been a big fan of Pan Librarian, and how they combine between the fantasy world and the real world, and make it simple and
Pan's Labyrinth. Yeah,
what's it called, like metaphor and stuff. Yeah, that's my script. That's my first script that I sent it to the contest, and it didn't win, but I'm pretty proud of it.
Nice.
Yeah, I can show it to you sometime.
I would love to see it.
Sure.
Yeah, I find that very relatable. For me, I think I tried writing a book first before I.
The whole book.
Yeah. I got 20. I have 27 pages. This is high school. This is a long time ago.
Okay.
But
okay.
But let's get into.
What is it about?
Oh, go ahead.
What is it about the book?
What is it about? I tried to write a fantasy book, and I was inspired by probably. Well, I mean, I read C.S. Lewis, Chronicles of Narnia, and I read Lord of the Rings. And there was a German book or a German author named Hans Beeman, who wrote a book called The Stone and the Flute that I really, really liked. And I think all those influences kind of led me to want to just create a big world,
Yeah.
The text was just important to me as the map that I was working on of the lands.
I see. Hey, that's really nice.
Yes, Sebastian in chat, Hans Beeman. It's Bemmann, and I was wondering recently if Sebastian, Team Pig Detective, knows. He is from Germany. But moving on. Let's get into this Kickstarter before we kick over to the party chat. I want to make sure I get to hear you talk about the Kickstarter. So this Kickstarter launched a couple weeks ago. Where are we at in terms of funding right now? I know we hit 30%.
I think we are hitting 40% right now. either 30, 39 or 40. It's depending on the page that you're watching. Maybe I don't know. Maybe if you're watching on the phone, it's 39 or something.
And what led you to choose Kickstarter as a vehicle for this project? And were there any other options you considered?
I actually consider Patreon at first, but I don't think that would get enough money for everyone in the team. I mean, it would. I think it would probably work if I make a YouTube channel alone, and I think that would get some money, but it's not a chunk of money to kickstart the project. So the reason I use Kickstarter, okay, I have to make clear that when I first make the first episode, I didn't want anything from it. It's not about money, and Kickstarter or money has never been a plan. But I cannot give it full attention for both my job and the project. So, and the production of the first episode took me almost a year, and the pre-production also took longer. Not longer. I mean, long before that. So with the resource I had, and it would take me about 15 years to finish the whole series, and that would be ridiculous.
That's quite a wait.
But yes, exactly.
That's a lot of build-up.
I kind of wonder. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I said that's a lot of build-up.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'll continue. But I want to make the second episode faster and more efficient and a better quality. So I need more people in the team. I need more time. So that's why Kickstarter. Because, okay, I want to make it clear that we are doing Kickstarter because it's not entirely about money. Because the money that we're getting is not even a professional rate that we usually get in real job. I mean, you can ask anyone in the team, and it's not. And I mean, I wouldn't even have to tell people in the team that, hey, dude, this rate is not. I know it's not going to be the price that you usually get in the real job, and because we are a small film studio right now, and we're trying to get this project out. I would say it's more about being ambitious and taking a step forward. It's about not staying at the same place, and it's about opening the door for everyone in my team. I mean, if it wins, the money that we get is not going to be enough for us to make a living forever. But after we announced the Kickstarter, and we got so many contacts from people, and we got so many opportunities. For example, the Gamescom.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to give this opportunity to my team, and I'm trying to open the door for everyone in my team, whether they will continue working with me or not. And that is the real goal for Kickstarter. And I'm not going to let this project lose.
I think that's a really great I think that's a great perspective. I feel the same way about it. It's
yeah, I know.
We're not buying an island.
Exactly.
with that money. There's no, we won't be buying a building and setting up a permanent studio with that money.
Yeah.
But it is getting a lot of attention for the project. It's getting attention for dreams. It's opening doors for and giving opportunities for exposure for people who are involved. And I think I'm sure I speak for I believe every person who's been involved in the project got involved when there was zero money involved.
Yeah.
So everyone is here because they wanted to work on something they thought was cool, which is fabulous. In the chat, someone's asking for a link. Can anyone get us a link to that Kickstarter in the chat? That would be fabulous. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Michael, is there anything else you want to touch on before we move over to the party chat?
I think we can move on to the chat. I would love to talk to everyone in the team.
I would too. Okay, let me just flip my switches and levers here. We're going to do this. And boom, there's the beautiful faces, and you're going to get their beautiful voices in just a moment.
Should I jump in?
Oh, yep. I think Michael was just asking, should I jump into that one? Yes. Perfect. All right. We got Michael. And boy, who do we have today? We have a Bumbleberg, a Bivson, a Multimoo, a Saku, a Lucas, a Thomas, and a Michael, all in the chat. And yeah, it's wonderful to have you all here today. Boy, where do we start? I'd like to. You know what? Let's put the pressure. We've got a lot of people here who do a lot of different things. Let's put the pressure on the actor. How about that? I feel like the actor came ready to perform, probably did some vocal warm-ups. Thomas, how are you doing today?
Hi. Thank you for having us here.
Thomas,
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Thomas is the voice of Noguchi in Noguchi's Bell. Kind of a central character, a little bit. Thomas, how did you get involved in the project? How did I believe Michael probably was the person to cast you in the first place?
Yes, you're absolutely right. Michael was the one who reached out to me via Twitter. I'm not 100% sure how he found me.
Oh,
I'd only done like a few small, very, very small indie projects and little projects here and there, and it was a little surprising to be approached by it. But I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I'll do it.
That's great. Michael, can you fill in the gaps in our knowledge here?
Oh, sure. I think I found his performance on YouTube, the one that he performed, the green hair character, the one from,
right?
Yeah, that one. I think, hey, that sounds exactly like Noguchi. So just track you down and just contact you.
Oh, that's cool.
And you just nailed it, and we got Noguchi right there.
Thomas, can you tell us what that project was? That the way he found you?
He's probably talking about like the voice that I do for another character.
The one that the green guy, the green hair guy with the I don't know. I think it's from anime or something.
Mm-hmm. I do an impersonation. I do like little comic dubs, little fan dubs. For
nice.
Some My Hero Academia, little comic dub projects here and there, and that's where I pretty much started out as. I just did a bunch of those in the very beginning of my voice acting career, all in 2020. I still do a few here and there, but not as much.
Nice. So did you just get started voice acting in 2020?
I did, actually.
How cool is that? How cool is that?
It's mind-boggling.
And was that the first thing you did? Was start recording these little fan dubs and putting them on YouTube?
Basically, so I had found voice acting back in February of 2020. Back when, right when the thing happened, all of 2020 exploded.
The thing.
We all kind of ended up in the aftermath and all that.
Where's someone with the music cue? We need like a dramatic stab when the thing happened.
Yep. So yeah, that happened.
Dun, dun.
I found it.
Can I ask what if you have a performance background before that, or what? What any sort of artistic background before getting into voiceover?
Well, I did used to sing a little bit, but to myself actually. I had back in high school I had a lot of musical training, so all of high school was that, and I was in the military for about 6 years, and then I went to be a contractor, and then found voice acting, and just never looked back.
Very cool.
Very, very, very short description of what happened. But yes, that's the only training I have. I have no other acting, no theater, no. The only kind of acting and stuff that I have is all online coaching and online mentoring from castingcallclub.com and their teachers and instructors, and yeah, that's all I got.
Well, you do an awesome job as Noguchi. And I don't think I mentioned your name is Thomas Prater. If you're looking him up, that is
Here, definitely.
yeah, that's the name.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you.
And no, I got one more for you before I move on. I'm curious if, since working on Noguchi's Bell, well, I get the first question would be, do you have a PlayStation, and have you gotten involved in Dreams at all since getting started in Noguchi's Bell?
Come on, man. Why do you have to ask such a weird
Oh, it was a bad question. I'm sorry. If the answer is no, it's a bad
okay,
question.
No. No, I haven't. I have a PlayStation 4, but I don't have Dreams. The only way how I've been able to keep up with the project was just doing the voice, of course, and then watching it on YouTube, and then that's pretty much all of my exposure to it. Some of my friends who have Dreams have reached out to me, and they're like, "Hey, I heard you in this thing," and I'm just like, "Oh, yeah, I was in that thing."
How cool is that?
But no, I don't have Dreams, unfortunately.
Well, the pressure has started. The pressure has started. So I think it goes on sale for $10. We'll let you know. We'll let you know when it does.
Let me know. Send me a discount code or something. You know?
Yeah. Media Molecule, send me some discount codes or something. All right. Let's see. Who else we got here? How about we go over to Saku and talk about... Oh, no, I'm sorry. I said, Thomas, I have one last question. I want to ask every person on the team, where on planet Earth are you? You can be as general as you want.
I am in the United States.
In the United States. That's all I'm looking for. It's a very very international team, so I want to give people a sense of where all you crazy people come from.
Understood.
Saku, where on planet Earth are you right now?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, you sound great.
I'm from Germany.
Saku's from Germany. I actually didn't know that. I'm learning stuff already. And can you give us a little history of how you got involved with the project and what sort of work that you do on it?
Yes, so I've been a fan of their work from the beginning. I've watched their Rabbit and Boy and featured it on my channel as well, same as Noguchi's Bell. I actually reacted to that and was really amazed by it. And, I'm just a really big fan of 3D animation in general, Disney, Pixar, DreamWorks, and all of that. And so I would have actually loved to work with Cybersheep earlier already, but then, it worked out together perfectly for the Gamescom trailer, and that was actually my first work for the team as well. Did the environment for that trailer together with Putty Dog. And yeah, now I'm doing the environments and creating the worlds for Noguchi's Bell. Really exciting stuff.
Very cool. Did you, I know this is a newer one, this Musashibo still that I've got on the stream right now. Is this something that you were involved in?
That's actually interesting because I'm seeing that right now for the first time as well, and it looks pretty damn good.
That's great. That's how it works on a big international team. Ooh, I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, pretty much every single of the scenes in the trailer, Putty and me did them, and I think it turned out really well. It was really cool to see them in the trailer together, and then on that presentation on the Gamescom as well was awesome. And creating stuff for the camera is my main focus anyways, so that was actually just a perfect thing to join this team.
Well, your contributions are absolutely gorgeous so far. Saku, if you don't know, Saku has a popular YouTube channel where he showcases dreams and sometimes gets into art techniques. That's right? You got some tutorials on there, yeah? Can you confirm there are tutorials on your YouTube? Do I still have Saku?
I can't hear.
No. I think we might have a little connection problem.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you anymore.
Do you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Awesome.
Sorry.
You have tutorials on your YouTube, right? Some art tutorials?
Yes, I'm doing a bunch of tutorials, guides, masterclasses, breakdowns, all of that. I love putting my art and teach people how to do it as well on my YouTube channel, and also share community creations and yeah.
Yeah, if you saw that, if you saw the trailer and you want to know how to make things look like that, get over to Saku's YouTube channel. If someone wants to throw a link in chat for that, feel free.
Thank you very much.
And I don't know what. So the Future Game Show trailer was the first work that's been seen publicly that you did for the project.
Yes, exactly.
Excellent.
Haven't been doing any stuff before that, but enjoying the work of the others for sure.
And I'm curious what your background is before you got into Dreams. Did you do 3D art before you started making some in Dreams?
I actually barely have any experience in making 3D art. I came from video editing and I also did draw a little bit, but I've only touched Cinema 4D a little bit before, and that was actually horrible compared to Dreams. I would never touch that again.
Yeah.
And yeah, just learned Dreams from the beginning. Started with the beta day one, and now I can't imagine anything else anymore.
That's amazing. I feel the same. You've been a welcome presence in the community, Saku, and it's lovely to have you here today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Giving the same back to you.
Aw. Let's see. Who else have we got here? We got you want to get technical? Let's get technical and talk to Multimoo. Multimoo. Can you tell me about your involvement in Noguchi's Bell?
Sure. If you look at the Kickstarter, I'm listed as a concept artist, but like several members of the team, we wear many hats. Originally, it was Tap Giles. Everyone knows the infamous Tap Giles, who reached out to me asking if I could help out a little bit with some editing related stuff because I have background in video editing, and I started talking to Michael and started kind of tweaking an edit he was doing for the original Kickstarter trailer, and sent that back to him, and I guess he really liked it, and he kept reaching out for help. So I started doing like 4K captures and suggesting ideas and helping to do things like transparent video and transparent GIFs and all that with Dreams, which is a little tricky because you have to kind of either green screen it or do like a more technical way of approaching that, where you make an actual matte in Dreams by making everything black and white. And then use that to create the transparent imagery.
And you have
and then it just kind of evolved from there into editing some of the videos you may have seen on social media.
Very cool. And you have a lot of experience. You've spent a lot of time playing around with Dreams in video editing applications. Is that right?
Yes. I did apply for that commercial thing a couple years back, a few times actually.
For the commercial beta. Sorry, the beta commercial license program.
There are some videos out there, some that I don't know if I can share publicly, but maybe I can get cleared for that now, like years later.
Well, that's the kind we like to see.
Where I've done like scenes in Dreams that are based on like CAD schematics of actual buildings that would be built, and then I made them real in Dreams and animated stuff so that they like fly around and stuff, like chairs coming down, and live action video superimposed and stuff for some schools, and for a company called Humacyte that does like fake blood, like nerves and stuff that get implanted into people. Weird, crazy stuff. But I started that in Dreams, the actual animation, while I was exporting a like fluid simulation in After Effects that was taking an hour long to do like 4 or 5 seconds of animation.
Yeah.
In like 5 minutes, I had recreated the synthetic nerve thing and threw cells at it, and I was just like, why can't everything be this fast?
So what? So you tried making it in another piece of software, and then ended up creating it in Dreams ultimately.
I created a lot of the elements in Dreams ultimately that I could animate first, and then the fluid simulation part was put on top.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, other than that, yeah, I've been around the bend with Media Molecule, longtime fan. Technically a longtime fan of Cybersheep Film at this point too, from their previous works.
Yeah, it's boy, when I'm trying to think of when Rabbit and Boy came out. It feels like, I mean, if I just went on instinct, it feels like roughly 10 years ago that that early
like
Dream stuff happened.
Year and a half ago, something like that. I don't know. I mean, but even before then, they were doing some tests and stuff for like The Witcher that were cool.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen those too. Can we take a quick detour? I want to ask Michael about Rabbit and Boy. Rabbit and Boy got a lot of attention. It was, I mean, at the time, and I would say the same thing of Noguchi's Bell. At the time I saw Rabbit and Boy, I felt like I hadn't seen. It was just better and more fleshed out, and than anything else I had seen. Trying to do audiovisual content in Dreams. Can you tell us a little bit about putting that one together?
Rabbit and Boy. I think that one originally I was planning to do it alone, but I'm not good at everything in Dream, so I'm just recruiting more people, and Howitzer joined, and I think by that time Hack Jazz is already in there. And what is it? I'm really proud of that one as well. It's kind of like a film inspired by Last of Us.
Oh, really?
I think most people already know it by now. Yeah, it's somewhat like Last of Us.
That's cool. I mean, I see it now that you say it. Like I get that, but I never would have assumed it in the first place.
Yeah. Well, I never talk about this, but the plan with this is I wanted to make like open with a Last of Us inspired movie, and then in the middle part is gonna be like a Pixar, like the silence Pixar short film, and at the end it's gonna be like an old boy hallway fight scene at the end. I don't know. I'm kind of a big fan of a Ryan Johnson movie, so I'm trying to subvert the audience expectation. Mm-hmm. And it's the cool thing is that there are actually people who appreciate that. Like wow, this really cool. That at the beginning I thought it was gonna be like a Last of Us ripoff, and then it's turned into something else completely. And I really like it, and I really like the what's it called, the feedback that we got from it, and it kind of encouraged me to make more.
Yeah, I got to say, looking at it again right now, I remember feeling like the impact I felt was, I don't think Dreams puppets have made me feel to this extent before I saw this one. I mean, the characters really felt grounded and real, and it's a beautiful piece of work. So you said you were going to do that by yourself.
Yeah, but it's not possible. It was not going to be possible.
How many people?
I'm terrible sculptor.
Yeah. Sorry? How many people ultimately got involved?
I think there are 5 people. I can't remember a specific number, but I think there are 2 sculpture, 1 music guy, and me, and the other guy is the animator. So I think that's probably it.
Wow. I mean, it's an impressive piece of work. How long would you say it took to put this together?
I can't remember anymore. Like probably 3 to 4 months of animating and planning. I think probably around that.
It looks like it. Well, it was worth the work.
Thanks.
Definitely blew minds. Speaking of animation, how about we talk to Bivson for a moment? How are you, Bivson? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
Did you you got involved leading into episode 2 is when you joined with Cybersheep, is that right?
I got involved when I remember getting a DM from a Cybersheep film. They were asking if I wanted to help out to animate the Kickstarter trailer, or the trailer that would be shown on the Future Games show. And I had seen the all the previous works. I remember seeing Noguchi's Bell. I got super hyped. I watched it like 3 times in a row the same day. It was so good.
I mean, that must have been great to see to see other people doing really detailed animation work, right? I mean, you put a lot of love into your own animation in Dreams. That must have been amazing to see someone else putting in that much effort.
Yeah, and of course I got super excited when I was asked if I could, if I wanted to join and help animate the trailer, and so that's where it started.
So, how much of the were there any other animators working on the trailer, or was that all you?
No, it wasn't. It was. I think there were like Michael did some animations, right? And then there was Arseny.
Oh, Arseny, yeah.
So I think there were 3 animators, maybe, if I remember right.
Wow.
I animated about 2 scenes, maybe. I did some work on other scenes, but it was mostly just background characters, running the part with the background characters.
Which 2 scenes did you focus on?
I worked on the scene where you see I forgot the names of the characters. The one where the frog-looking character like falls down his knees.
I'm a writer and I can't remember either, so don't feel bad. Someone bail us out here. Who's the frog-looking character?
It's the Kappa.
Kappa.
Oh yeah.
Kappa.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Where the scene where the Kappa falls down, and then the blue giant tiger. Is that the name of that one too?
Is it the one, the shot where the blue giant tiger walks up to Kappa, like from behind?
Yeah.
Like that one was really memorable. Like that shot just sticks in my head. It's just, I mean, there's not a ton going on, but it really, I don't know, it really, I felt it was really impactful.
I had a lot of fun making the blue tiger look super cute. It was probably my favorite part of the whole my whole involvement in the project, to animate that blue tiger.
Now, have you, let's see, for animating the tiger and Kappa, I'm curious if the rigs for those puppets are anything like some of the more complicated, like, face rigging on, Noguchi or other characters.
The face rig, there are a bunch of sliders that you can control, and you can change the facial expression using multiple sliders, and but the rest of the body is animated pretty much like you would animate. At least on those characters that I worked on. I've seen that Arseny made a video of a really cool looking tool with a gimbal.
Yeah, I saw that.
And all that stuff. I didn't use that, but it looks really cool.
It does look really cool. It looked very helpful.
looks like an actual animation software that you see big companies use.
Have you
It's really cool.
did you have animation experience, 3D animation experience before you started using Dreams?
Well, I've not really. I wouldn't really say I haven't had any professional 3D animation experience, but I have done personal projects. I used to work with a using a computer software called Source Filmmaker, and made some animations there. I mean, they're okay, I guess, but it's right now I think they're pretty poop. But then when I got involved in Dreams like 2.5 years ago, I started taking my animation career more seriously, and also I went in animation school. To try
Oh,
and
really? Very
get better
cool.
at that.
So-
Well, not animation school, but I learned animation there for games.
Oh, nice. So you have. So are you saying you've been going to actually going to classes for game animation?
Well, actually, we have a school different school system here in Sweden. First, there's the regular school, and then we move on to gymnasium, and there we can pick a something we want to specialize in, and I wanted to specialize in animation for games.
That's very interesting. So how old are people when they get a chance to specialize in their education?
Well, I was 17, I think, when I started going in gymnasium, and I graduated this year.
Oh, congratulations.
Okay.
Excellent. Well, let's see. We know where in the world Bivsen is. Bivsen is in Sweden. So
Ja, det är sant.
we've got a Bumbleberg and a Lucas. Well, since Lucas is on the same team as me, let's talk to Bumbleberg first. We'll save the other writer for last. Bumbleberg, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing just fine and dandy, thank you. Can you tell me a little bit about how you got involved with the team and what you've been doing to help?
So pretty much, unlike everyone else, I actually came up to Cybersheep Film first and offered to help them first.
Mhm.
And pretty much, at first they said no, they didn't need any help. But then later on, they asked me if I wanted to help, and I was with the Gamescom trailer, and I did so by doing the music, or at least at the very end, at least.
So there's I didn't realize there were two. Yeah, I didn't realize there were. I didn't realize there was music by you at the end of that. That's really cool. After talking about it so much, I want to see it again with sound. How did that? How was that experience? Like, it seems like the team expanded a lot for the future game show trailer. Like, just the short deadline led to a lot of people jumping in. How? Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much, I thought it was a really great experience. It was actually my first time doing anything promotional or really anything commercial. So It was really nice. I'd do it again if I could.
Yeah, I think it was exciting for everyone whose work was involved to see it broadcast live. I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but it was many thousands of people watching on Twitch and on their YouTube channel. I was really excited for the whole team watching, and so many positive reactions too. I mean, it's the internet. I'm sure there was some bad ones in there, but I just saw good stuff. It seemed like a really great reaction.
I saw the trailer or the live stream live with my grandparents, and what ended up happening is that my grandma started crying because she was so proud of me and what I did, or that I was able to like get this opportunity.
You what else do you need? You made your grandma cry. I think that's like the best award you could ask for.
Yeah. She's really important to me, so it meant a lot.
That's amazing. Do you have what is your musical background before you got involved in making music in Dreams?
Before Dreams, I had never actually made my own music. Before Dreams, all I'd really done is played percussion, as in like in band, and just read music on paper. With that, honestly, I don't really do that anymore. And during that, I actually started DJing, and I've been DJing for about 6 years now, professionally as a job, pretty much.
Oh, cool.
Getting gigs here and there because of COVID.
Nice. I was a clarinet player in high school, in the bands. I was always jealous of. I always wish I picked something cooler. I wish I picked percussion or learned the saxophone or something. I was jealous of all you percussion people.
Yeah, I really liked doing percussion. The problem is, though, I couldn't keep up with everyone else. So they were really like improving way too fast, and I couldn't. So I had to quit that.
Did you do marching band?
No, I didn't do marching band. This was before marching band. I just did recitals.
Well, you missed the best
concerts.
experience then.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have to do marching band, be a percussionist. Like they're having the most fun. Like they kind of get to rock out and hype people up, and I don't know, cadences. And Bumbleberg, where on planet Earth are you?
United States. I could go more into detail, but I'm not sure.
I'm gonna need GPS coordinates.
Ohio.
Thank you. Oh, that's cool. I feel like you might have told me that before, but
yeah.
But it's lovely to have you here, Bumbleberg. And
lovely to have you here too.
Lovely to have you on the team. We're down to the writer guy, Lucas. How are you doing, Lucas? Uh-oh. Lucas went to get some coffee. Nope.
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Nope.
Thank you for being here. This morning, I had to do a capture of Noguchi's Bell episode 1 so that I could play it off my PC.
I had my TV on, so I was.
You had your TV on?
Sorry, I missed that. My headset was off, but my mic was on. Yeah.
Oh, all good. So this morning I watched episode 1 because I had to record it onto the PC so I could play it outside of Dreams, and I didn't know, Lucas, that you were involved in episode 1. I just figured you got on board in episode 2. That was neat to see. Can you tell me a little bit about how you got involved with the team and a little bit about the experience of working on helping out with episode 1?
Well, I've known Michael for quite a while, actually, since the beta. We were involved in a project together that ultimately kind of fell apart, but we were on the writing team for that particular project. They released a trailer, but then kind of fizzled out. I don't even remember the name of it.
Is it Project Icolos?
Project Icolos.
I was going to say.
Yeah, that's it.
I did the voiceover. Wait, have I voiced your writing?
I've forgotten. It's been so long.
Did you
Yes,
write
actually,
that?
you voiced my script.
I mean, I knew Michael was involved in that
Michael took over.
project.
I left the team fairly early.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. So wow, so you guys have a history working together before Cybersheet.
And I wear a lot of hats myself. I'm not just I don't just write. I do some voice work as well. I don't know if you've seen the Imperfection ad, but I helped with that. And my voice is the little disclaimer at the very end of it.
Oh, really?
The Imperfection video.
Yeah, that one killed at the Impies. That really killed.
It does. That I love that that particular ad. It was a great job.
A nice opportunity to show off that puppet rig more too.
Exactly. Really great animation work there. But yeah, I basically was helping out a little bit with episode 1. Michael asked me to help him out with some proofing. So I don't really have a writing credit per se. I just tweaked some of the way the writing was done so that it sounded a little bit more natural. Because when it comes to writing, my specialty tends to be more in terms of dialogue.
Yeah.
But I can set up scenes and that kind of stuff. But for the overall, it's conversational.
Yeah. How did you meet up with the team on Project Icolos in the first place? I'm curious. Did you
Funny
meet
story, actually. I was goofing around. Sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
So I was actually goofing around in dreams, and I randomly bumped into a dude who, and we were chatting. I asked him a question, technical question in regards to Dream, a limitation that I was trying to find a workaround. It was an animation thing. And he helped me out, and then, we got to talking, and then he said, like, as we were talking, I'm a bit of a jokester, so he's like, hey, you'd be perfect for this thing I'm working on Project Icolos. I'm like, really? At the time, it didn't have a name, but they were assembling a team for this project. It was a very ambitious project. It's a shame it didn't pan out, but it was a very cool idea. In any case, I was brought on to either do voice or writing. For that, and then I went my separate way and moved on.
That was a really promising project.
I've also been working on project. It was. It's a shame it didn't pan out. But I've also been working on a project called Europa Descent, which is with Ferran and Snags. But it's on hiatus at the moment. So I was developing UI and scripting for that particular thing. So I was doing text animations and technical readouts and stuff like that.
Oh, can I now? All right, I know we're here to talk about Cyber Sheep, but I'm really curious about Europa Descent. It's on hiatus at the moment. Is it? I mean, is it actual like
it
hiatus?
Is on hiatus,
or is it like it's never gonna happen hiatus? I shouldn't press you for these details,
I'm not
but
sure.
I'm going to.
Basically, that's fair. There lots of people have been asking me about it. To be honest with you, I don't know the current mindset behind Ferran and Snags. It was a passion project for those guys, and they're incredibly talented guys.
Yeah.
But I mean, over the last year or so, things have been so challenging for both of them that I think they decided to just reset, take a break. Nothing set in stone at the moment. So as far as I know, nothing's being done specifically for ED.
Well, I mean, now, from what I've heard, there are things to be done about ED, if you believe the television commercials. But anyone? They're showing at Dreamscom last year, not this past one, but Dreamscom 2020. That booth was so good, and I think they had a little demo or something, and I just remember having my socks knocked off by how good that stuff looked.
Actually, had 3 demos on that.
Wow. Yeah.
So I actually designed all the signage, the Mad GFX logo. I designed that, as well as the Europa Descent logo. Ooh. I built all of that in Dreams, and then Snags snagged it up kind of thing and made it all glowy and made it cool. But I built the models for that.
Nice work. That booth was a jaw dropper. Like what I liked about it was how grounded it felt. It felt like felt like if I was in VR, I would have been in a museum. That's how that one felt to me. Really loved that.
Yeah.
But enough about that.
Imagine if that Dreamscom showcase came out after the VR thing dropped. That would have been cool.
Yeah, I want to live in that world in VR. But let's get back to Cybersheep. So actually, you know what? Let's
Sure. I'm sorry. I have a tendency to tangent.
Oh no, that was my tangent, Lucas. That was absolutely my tangent, and I enjoyed it. It's fun. Most of the work I did on episode 2 script was sort of just with Michael, and then we got into Discord, and I'm like, oh, there's Tap Giles is helping with writing too. Like, I know Tap Giles very well, and I had no idea. And we're both too good at keeping secrets, I guess. And then Lucas was a new person to me. So it's wonderful to hear that you've been involved in these things that that I'm familiar with. Can I ask where in the world you are, Lucas?
Well, I'm massively honored. I'll be happy to answer that. First, though, I would like to say I'm massively honored that Michael asked me to help out, and I'm thrilled to be part of the team. In every aspect of it, I'm more than happy to contribute to the team. Just so, to answer your question, I happen to live on the west coast of Kazakhstan. To those not in the know, that happens to be the lower mainland of Canada, known as Vancouver.
Oh, cool. Very cool. And your first language was French, I learned earlier?
Yeah, my actual name is Luc, but I go by Lucas, typically because I was born before the first episode of Star Wars, and especially before Empire Strikes Back.
Mm-hmm.
That was not a fun time growing up. Even though I love the movies, don't get me wrong. It's just, Luke, I am your father. No, you're not. Go away.
How many times must you have heard that? When I was a teenager, it was
right now when somebody says that, if I introduce myself as Luke, they go, "Oh, I'm your father." I'm like, "What is that from?" It's like, no, don't you get it? Isn't it hilarious? I'm like, no,
what is that from?
Haven't you seen Star Wars? Star Wars? Is that like Star Trek?
That the one with the pointy ears?
I completely mess with them and the nanu thing, right?
Oh yeah. That's Star Trek, right? Robin Williams.
Oh.
Well, that's amazing.
Star
that's
Trek
amazing.
Galactica, right? That's the thing you were talking about.
When I was like 13-ish, that's right when my actual name is not Keld. For any who doesn't know, my actual name is Jeremy, and Pearl Jam's Jeremy was.
Holy shit, it's a good thing I'm sitting down.
When I was about 12, 13, that's when that was coming out, and wasn't too bad. I just had to hear people sing the song at me all the time. Like no one ever did anything clever with it. It was just the same thing. Like, oh, I'm just going to repeat this line that I know to you, because it seems relevant. Bumbleberg thought it was Kevin.
My wife's name is Wanda.
Mick Yeager is Kevin. Secrets. Kataya's name is Brian.
How did you come up with the name
that?
Keld Bjones?
I have a story for that. My Xbox gamer tag was Cold Bones. My nickname and Xbox gamer tag for many years was Cold Bones. And, around, I don't know, the early part of this century, you could get that name on any platform you wanted, and you can't anymore. You can those words are too common. Cold Bones, like it comes up too much. And so when I signed up for PlayStation, I didn't want to be Cold Bones 69420XX. I wanted to keep it clean, and it just so happened that that there was an alternate, a Viking alter ego to Cold Bones that some friends and I had made up over beers one night, named Keld Bjones. And Bjones is a totally made up name. And Keld was suggested by a friend of mine. I thought he made it up. I thought he just tried to make something that sounded Scandinavian to go with Bjones. Turns out Keld is actually a real name. And all the Kelds are in Denmark. Like, all of them. There's like 10,000 Kelds in Denmark, and you don't find them anywhere else, basically. But yeah, that's it.
That's hilarious.
That's how I became Keld Bjones. And I still, to this day, wonder if I should have put the underscore in my PSN so that people, maybe less people would call me Keld B. Jones, possibly. But
I don't think you're ever going to avoid that, especially as your name is rather unique in that regard. Yeah. People have a tendency to mispronounce things.
You know what, though? Like, the 1 in 100 times that someone gets it right on the first try, like, I raid some stranger or something, and that happened exactly one time. I raid someone that I didn't know, who didn't know me, and they said, Keld Bjones, and it's the most exciting thing in the world. I feel like you know me. You know me. Every once in a while.
It's a brother from a different mother.
Exactly. Well, we're getting close to the end of our time. We're doing a shortish show today. I think we might do longer shows on future podcasts, but since we're just getting the gears greased today, and for episode 1, we're gonna keep it tight. So, what does anyone have anything they want to get into specifically? Now that we've kind of made the rounds and talked with everyone, any thoughts you're dying to share? Any humorous anecdotes about working on the project, or hey, Tap Giles, fellow writer in the chat. The writing staff is all here.
Hey, Tap.
Tap, how you doing, buddy?
Well, I definitely want to get back to talking about the Kickstarter.
Probably mute my mic now, right?
Mute it, unmute it. I mean, it's free. It's free and open party chat from here.
Woo!
Woo! Yeah, everyone just let it out. Just give it. Woo!
Let's just make a shit ton of noise.
Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Was that a dog?
Okay, don't judge us by our improv. Judge us by our finished work. Yeah, I definitely want to talk about the Kickstarter a little more. And let's see, I'm going to the page now. I'll get you the current update. I mean, certainly it's gone from 39% to probably 80 or 90 during the show.
And hello to everyone in chat.
Undoubtedly, that's what's happened. And I'm going to drop that link in chat for you again. And for some reason, I don't know why the Kickstarter page always loads slow for me.
It loads kind of slow for me as well, but I think it's because it's got so much stuff on it. There's a lot of video and a lot of embedded stuff. So
maybe it's trying to load everything up before it gives you the page.
Anyone else in the team super hyped to actually produce episode 2?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean we actually have to make the thing now? Yeah, that would be a good place to take the conversation.
Well, I busted my ass helping with episode 2 script, so I know that Tap and Keld, you both worked on that script as well, and it's tight. Its current iteration is tight as hell. So,
I think it looks pretty great. I'm very excited to see where it goes. I mean, as part of the writing team, I feel like our work happens real early, and then it'll be there'll be a lot of mystery. I won't really know what's going on for a while.
I've been helping with the writing of the Kickstarter stuff, and so's Tap. So Tap and I have been doing the majority of the work with editing that, while Lenore, the our PR person, Lenore the Vampire, quick shout out, has been
Greetings to
doing a
Lenore.
fantastic job of organizing all that stuff.
Yeah, she really has been. She's been knocking it out of the park.
Time.
Absolutely. So, episode 2. Michael, what can you tell us? What would you want to tell people about episode 2 to get them just to get them excited, to get them clicking that link to
No spoilers.
no spoilers.
Spoiler. Okay, sure.
Only spoilers.
Fake spoilers.
I think it's
I want
gonna
to hear
be much
fake
better,
spoilers.
Fake spoiler.
Yeah.
I don't know. Darth Vader, I guess. I don't know.
When the Star Destroyer shows up, oh my god!
Yeah, so what do you
Are
think
we having
Oh, go ahead.
are we having a Noguchi cinematic universe?
I think we can.
You may have just labeled
like
it.
Maybe green guy can join.
That would be a weird crossover.
Yeah, true. So true.
We should sign Mega Penguin.
Yeah.
Have you thought about doing any tie-ins? I mean, are we going to see a Noguchi's Bell Ghost Train, a Noguchi's Bell Mega Penguin level, or is creating a animated episode more going to take the focus right now?
I think the focus right now is on the episode 2, but for the future, maybe we can do like collaboration, or maybe you can continue on the next episode. But I would say maybe a spin-off of the old man on a noodle shop would be interesting, I think.
Ooh, I like that. I could imagine Mega Penguin just popping out of a portal, falling into the sand in the desert. You could do that. You could do the same shot. Do the couple shots of him walking to the ramen stand. And
Question for you, Michael.
Yeah, sure. Come on.
How did he get the dragon horn there? How? That thing was huge.
Yeah, that breaks the story.
Yeah, right. I think for me, I was trying to go for a cartoony feeling, so maybe he's use a rope and just rope it up and just carry it all the way. So there was supposed to be a scene when he fought the dragon, I think. In the back of your mind.
That's comedy.
You know what?
aspect,
I just had an interesting idea, if you'll indulge me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think Bivson mentioned that he's a fan of Pixar. I think Saku mentioned that too. I can't remember. Sorry if I'm misquoting you guys, but I'm a huge fan of Pixar. And one of the things that I really like about them is their hidden Easter eggs. Every movie that they make has a reference to a previous movie or a future movie that they are about to make or release. Like, for example, the A Bug's Life characters show up in Toy Story, or Toy Story 2 rather, because they did Toy Story, and then A Bug's Life, and then Toy Story 2, and all of the characters in A Bug's Life are on a leaf as Woody or Buzz go through a hedge, just pushed aside kind of thing. Putting little Easter eggs like that in every episode might be a really cool little Easter egg hunt thing for viewers. Just
You mean like?
I agree.
Are you saying to have like something from Rabbit and Boy in Noguchi's Bell for like one of the episodes?
Yeah.
Maybe like a rabbit toy.
Exactly.
Would be cool. I actually already implemented some Easter eggs from some of my favorite things.
Oh yeah, right.
Could be fun just for it to be like
Look at that, stealing my thunder.
Anything dreams related, like like Mega Penguin is in the background of of an episode or something. Like I think that's an interesting angle too.
Right.
Since there's only so many Cybersheep projects to reference.
Actually, I think people should check the game's
Or a Media Molecule logo somewhere.
Sorry. Hello?
Yep. A Media Molecule
Yeah,
logo in there
I
somewhere,
mean,
I think Lucas said. Oh, go ahead, Michael.
Sorry. Oh yeah, sure. I think people should check out the Gamescom trailer because Saku is putting some, I think, several Easter egg in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Some little hidden things to find there. Now
Yeah,
the game show, the future game show trailer, that was cut together outside of Dreams, right? So we shouldn't expect to see that at some point in Dreams.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I mean, it's a lot more difficult. If you don't know, it's a lot more difficult to make it present. Honestly, that was one of the most impressive things to me about episode 1 of Noguchi's Bell, and I really loved that you made that choice to make sure it was going to play in Dreams, start to finish. It'd be so easy to say we're going to do it in Dreams and cut it up in Premiere or whatever. It would be so easy. It would make it just reduces a lot of friction in creating a project like this. And the fact that you committed to making it play in Dreams is so wonderful. It makes it twice as amazing to me. Yeah, hats off for that episode 1.
Thank you.
It really.
I will say,
yeah.
as someone who got to see all the uncut footage, everything in the Gamescom trailer is in real time in Dreams. It's just recorded separately and edited to that tight, trailer format that was required of the future game show.
Right.
But yeah, no, all of it runs in the each scene itself runs real time. So
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
and I expect that quality or better.
I mean, they're unaugmented. Like you play it in Dreams. That's the finished product. Like I love it. Don't make him regret it, Keld.
And you gotta imagine, we had like 1 or 2 weeks for so many scenes. Episodes would be so much better.
Yeah, you can only optimize so much when you have 0 time.
yeah, exactly. Well, I think we've come
it's
to
a real
the
testament to you guys being able to optimize it like that.
Yeah.
Yes, big thanks to Saku and Pudido for doing that.
Absolutely.
The thing about this was that we just had to put it on camera, so everything outside of the camera is a huge mess, pretty much. But, yeah.
I did
just like a real film.
I was actually talking to some friends who work in video production and filmmaking yesterday, who I hadn't seen in a while, and I was talking to them about how fascinating it is, and maybe this is something we can share a little bit of with the backers or just in the future behind the scenes. When you see a movie or when you see in-game cinematic, you only see what's inside the frame, but you don't realize that when there's a different angle or something, everything is different. Like when you turn around and film another character in a movie, they're probably not standing where they were, in the other shot, and like everything is totally different. The lighting's, it's different. You paint with people. You can't normally do that in like a real-time setting. You can't do that like without like significant work. And so when you're in Dreams and you see this happening, like characters are literally, the person who's in focus on camera is doing his thing, and the other character is like warping to somewhere else and preparing to do the next shot, and then that lighting turns off and the other lighting turns on.
Yeah,
it's just this fantastic ballet of like, like they said, optimization and getting these scenes working in ways that aren't all happening in one master shot. It's not possible to look good and do it all like that. It's like playing with toys at that point. You actually have to frame and stage the mise-en-scene, right?
Yeah.
Is important to really create the shapes and the action in a way that evokes emotion in people. And seeing that played out like from like a development side, that stuff is just insane. It's so cool.
Yeah, that is a huge challenge. Absolutely. I mean,
seeing the master puppeteer doing that, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, on a film set, every single shot, every time you change the frame, we're going to change the lighting and change everything up. And you're kind of just emulating that in real time.
Even Pixar, right? Pixar has to like render out these massive scenes and stuff, and then they eventually composite and put it together. Noguchi's Bell is doing all this, at frame rate, at 30 or even 60 frames per second on a PS4 and PS5. Like in every camera switch is happening, and you have these scenes just flawlessly almost.
It's
right?
pretty
These
amazing.
runtime.
I mean,
Yeah,
just looking at it right now, like it's still pretty mind-blowing to me that what I'm watching is being generated in real time. That
Yeah,
it's
and
not
you have
video.
impossible camera angles, so like
Yeah.
literally chunks of level are disappearing just so
Right.
that you can get the camera where you need it to be.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah.
It's really fun stuff. It's great to learn about this. Yeah, one day I'm gonna have to ask to be added as a collaborator on one of these scenes, just so I can see the magic. Hey, it would be fun to show that off on stream one day to do
I
like
have
a
recorded a bunch of stuff, and and I'll talk about this with the team later. But I think it'd be really cool to show select scenes from the second one or even the first film where you see the finished product in a frame and also see just that madness of what's happening on the
like
virtual stage.
sort of like
you
a
know?
like a wide shot showing, so you can see the
just
stuff
have some,
shutting
like,
on and
camera
off.
angles of like what's literally like behind the scenes in a movie would be,
Yeah,
but in dreams.
I would love to see
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I would love to see that. I've really
was actually-
enjoyed seeing some of the Twitter promos that the team has been making, where you can see like concept art.
Oh yeah,
And you could see like that there were paint strokes used to create highlights and things like that. Seeing all that broken apart is really fascinating. Who else has been doing that? I know Saku's been involved in making some, and I think Arseny also. Maybe Bivson too. Maybe all. I think you've been keeping the animators busy lately. But yeah, a lot of
they've been feeding us, been trying to sweeten it up with some editing and presentation for social media, as has Saku, I believe. But everyone's been creating content as well, just to share their side of things.
yeah.
I do think we need to give the music some more love too. That's fascinating as well.
The music is fabulous. It works great in the scenes. Like it sounds gorgeous.
I mean, it's may not be as involved as all the animation and sculpting and all that as far as the amount of people, but music is equally, I think, important to drive like how you feel about a story.
I mean,
that's really true.
and that's
So
Hack Jazz, right?
Yeah, such a good.
And he's
Yeah.
also doing sound effects. Is that right?
Actually, the sound
Big
effect
time.
is Denny.
Oh,
Danny is the one who did the sound effect.
okay. I
Actually,
didn't
for the
realize.
first episode, it's Hack Jazz, but he's getting more busy, so I'm giving it to Danny.
Music and handling all the music and sound for something like this is, that's a gigantic undertaking.
Which is why I'm guessing they let me on.
All right.
I hope people, I assume people don't realize that for this kind of project, when you do something like Pixar, they have hundreds of people literally working on stuff, not to mention all the outsourcing. So this is like a relatively small team, but Dreams is enabling these people to, do things that you couldn't do before. I think a lot of us feel that way after just a couple of years of using it, just how like liberating the tools can be. I mean, obviously there's the caveats and the challenge of runtime, real-time graphics and stuff. But honestly, just seeing stuff like Noguchi's Bell existing, like from some random people around the planet, just putting it together.
Yeah.
It's honestly something that spoke to me because I come from a background of visual effects and film production and some game stuff. But a lot of it was commercial and corporate, and I did find actually like an example of like the thing that I was so bewildered because I spent so much time not only modeling and then rendering this stupid, I don't know if you can even see it at this point because of the lighting. Don't worry about it. But it was just to turn around and recreate that in Dreams so fast, and then spend time to actually make it feel good and animation wise. You don't get that in traditional software at all. You have to start at such a basic level for anything original.
Yeah.
And it takes so long.
It really does. It really does. I mean, people say it's a miracle that any movie ever gets created. But, in a movie, you don't have to hand build actors from scratch. I mean, doing something like this is every bit as difficult as a movie, and then with some additional challenges piled on top of it. And it is a miracle that episode 1, I think, is here in front of us, and it will be another miracle when episode 2 arrives.
I mean,
it's going to
definitely
happen.
a labor of love that you can see everyone who's worked on the original episode poured into.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it definitely
if it was that another software pipeline of a bunch of other programs, I don't think Noguchi's Bell could have existed unless maybe another few years went by.
Yeah.
And it would be totally different.
Yeah, I agree. The fact that Dreams puts everything in one space,
and it would have been muddied up by committee or whatever.
Yeah, that too. More time on a project also means more time to overthink it and screw things up sometimes. But
oh God, no kidding, right?
Definitely for me. I mean, that's why throwing a podcast together in a week was, a good thing for me. I've been talking about it for a long time. But then then when Michael and I started talking about doing something on the channel, I'm like, oh, this is the moment. Yeah. This is the moment I've been waiting for to apply the pressure I need. What do you got there, Multi? I mean, I can focus on your camera. Let's see.
This is simply that thing I was talking about where I spent,
it's me.
Multiple days.
That blood thing. Neat.
Multiple days making this model animation, and then I turned around while I was rendering and made it in Dreams in like 5 minutes, and I was like, oh my God, I'll just do this and then combine the two.
Oh, there it goes.
The finished
Is
product,
it the combined one?
This is not the combined one. This is what I made in Dreams while it was rendering on my computer. I beat the rendering too. Like you can see it's exporting there, and I beat it.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, the Dreams real time is insane. I also spent time on a Cinema 4D project before, and it was a 15 seconds clip, and it rendered for like 10 hours.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
that's just insane.
Yeah. I love Dreams so much, man. It's so empowering. I had to get like this because this is like my this one and the one back there are like my most used imps, which are, for anyone unfamiliar with Dreams, are the 3D cursors that you kind of fly around and grab things with. I just am hugely appreciative of Media Molecule for enabling people who would normally just be regular gamers on their consoles to turn around and be creative and express themselves in a game. Like, that's just been so empowering.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's mind-blowing to think what it does for all of us. Like, we're all randoms from all around the world, just coming together for Dreams, being creatives and bringing projects to life. Whole worlds. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is. Oh, there's that ramen again.
I think it speaks to a certain type of person.
Mm-hmm.
I think it speaks to a certain type of person with a background in, like, I mean, people like Multimoo and Saku, who are, professionals in the industry. When I've dabbled since like the 90s. Playing with ray tracers in DOS and stuff back in the day, and playing with 3ds Max and learning IK and FK, learning all that stuff, and then all of a sudden just being able to pick up a controller and do the exact visualization that it would have taken weeks, years ago. You know what I mean? You can do it in a day or a couple of hours. It's amazing what you can do. It's like having something designed from an ergonomics perspective of usability rather than, here's a spreadsheet of functions. Good luck.
Yeah.
Rather than, here, use a controller and play around. It's so much easier.
Yeah,
it's so much more
into
intuitive.
The world and like play with it.
Yeah, I mean it's
tactile. You can.
It's crazy that I take it for granted every day now, and it's still so unique and special what they managed to accomplish in creating this engine. It's absolutely nuts. I mean, name one other space where you can do all of these different things in one space. Where every creative program I've ever worked in is like, we've got our audio over here, and then we've got, your visuals over here, and then this other thing's over here, and everything is segmented, and then you've got to put it all together. Still, just the power of working in one space is nuts. Oh, when do you think when we get online multiplayer someday, do you think we're going to get multiplayer creation? It's not something they've talked about.
It's something they showed.
They did have this in the past.
I mean, way back when, right?
It's hard to say, but you know what? Considering what corners they had to cut for the real-time rendering, that's probably the reason for the delay for multiplayer.
How so? Can you explain that?
Well, if you think about it, well, I'm purely speculating here. I'm not a programmer, but you guys all mentioned how fast the renderer is in regards to what it's doing on screen to be able to just bloop right out there, right? Mainly because all the assets are loaded. They're already in system memory. When you have a multiplayer component with two individuals connected via the internet, making modifications to a visual representation on screen on your console, that's going to be a hell of a lot more taxing on the processing power, including graphics, right? So that's probably the delay, especially if they're going for a multiplayer creation system rather than just, hey, you can play your games online, but only when they're finished.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, I think the power in so much of what I've learned about dreams, and I think we probably all share this in common, is we're not learning in a bubble. You know, we're going to YouTube, we're going to streams, we're talking to other dreamers, we're reaching out for help in places, and there are so many times where I would love to be in the scene with someone to go, oh no, let me show you with my imp how you do that. Like, I think that would be
in like one of their earliest
very powerful
videos,
for
they
teaching.
showed like somebody walking while another player was technically
that was cool.
building steps for them, and you know, that was a long time ago, and I just hope we get that one day. It would be really nice.
That would be nice. I'll take online multiplayer first over multiplayer creation, but I'm glad that's on the Trello. But yeah, I did bring.
Been sitting there for a while.
It's nice to see that they updated it. It's nice to see that they updated it the other day, and that we're looking for some major updates before the end of October.
Yeah, and they said that was the first in a series of updates that focus on dream shaping, I think, was the message.
Nice.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I hope we get a patch with solid objects.
You mean, what do you mean, solid objects?
You know what I mean? Like
you mean transparency?
No flex.
Oh.
Well, that would be nice, but and I know it's even possible, but no flex, like a text gadget smoothness on a sculpt would be my dream.
Yeah.
I don't think that happens, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, you can kind of do it, but it's so expensive. I mean, you can't do exactly that, but when you get the detail up enough, you know, the flex kind of disappear, but it's so expensive in your graphics thermo that
you can cheat and use text gadgets, but yeah, it's hugely expensive.
I think it'd be really neat to see to expand on, to just use whatever tech is making the text gadgets work, and to have just different shapes available. You know,
I do think
let me have a cylinder
or that eventually.
Yeah. Shaders,
if you can, to basically
that would be awesome,
because everything's projected. You know, there are holes, right? They're basically mathematical shapes that are rendered as point clouds and splats and stuff. So that's why Dreams looks the way it does. And when you fill those surfaces with a lot of flex to get them nice and smooth, it's kind of taxing. But if you could have that shape like kind of shaded with like a shader, is talk for like computer generation and stuff. It's like what makes things glossy and shiny. But there's things like cell shading, which could kind of be tweaked potentially. I don't know how feasible this is, to at least give like a super smooth, uniform look to parts of it, you know. But in the end, if that causes problems, they're never going to do it. You know, it's more about how does this function at all times under different, you know, situations on like PS4 and PS5 and eventually maybe PC or whatever.
Yeah. How about how about Liquid? Liquid, we holding our breath for Liquid?
I mean, that what I just showed was
Oh my God.
the final shot of Dreams combined with a Liquid simulation.
Yeah.
But that, like I said, that took like a long time to render. So
I mean, right now, yeah, if you want to do like a Liquid simulation, you're probably doing it outside of Dreams. You're doing what Multiverse doing.
however, we do have PS5, which has technology capable of simulating particles with blending. In Unreal 5 and 4 actually support this now on hardware that's akin to like even weaker than PS5 to do some liquid simulation looking stuff. So
Do you think we'll see Liquid Flex someday?
that'd be cool. We got floppy, right? We got the
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
We've got the paint strokes that can simulate hair, so I don't see why not.
Yeah, it would be cool to see Dreams evolved or something.
I'm ready.
What I'm
Remember,
saying all
water
the
is just
time
particle
that
effect, so yeah, there's no reason you can't.
Yeah. I mean, I feels like no reason you couldn't do it with Flex, kind of within the Dream system. I think that you could. I mean, just saying that, I've never thought about water simulation in Dreams actually using Flex, but Flex are really powerful. And just imagining, like, if you had them, if you had a surface that was that had the motion of Liquid, and also you could apply all of the Flex properties to it. I think there's a lot of interesting things that could happen at that point.
Well, you've seen maybe Martin.
If Media Molecule, sorry.
Oh no, sorry. I was just saying Martin Nebelong was showing the soft blend tool while creating. Like soft blend is super powerful, and like that's how we can make some of the best soft organic shapes. But it doesn't currently run in the actual
yeah.
Dreams.
Right.
But something akin to that, where you can blend shapes, would then allow people to not necessarily do fluid simulation, but approximation, where you can have ripples that are actually 3D, and you can do that now, kind of, but it won't be quite the same if you can soft blend it.
Right. Yeah, soft
Is
blend
that
is
thing
expensive.
possible
One
in
thing
other
I'm hoping, because of the power of PS5,
I'm sorry, Michael, you were saying?
I
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
catch that, Mike.
is that thing that Martin did with the the soft blend that he did? Is that possible in other engine, by any chance?
Yes. Soft blending is a technique of shapes merging together,
Yeah.
but it's usually, again, just for like the actual sculpting phase. You never really quite see it do that.
Moving. Yeah. But is it possible, like in real time, for other engine by any chance?
I don't know about.
Oh, I see. But maybe not real time making.
Right. Those are specifically more examples of pre-rendered animation.
Okay.
Yeah, but it would be cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
So
Pull it
I was
off.
going to say, with the power of the PS5 and hoping that Media Molecule actually releases a patch that takes advantage of the capabilities of the PS5, specifically the ray tracing. Imagine being able to make a magnifying glass or, refracted light through, glass or water by assigning those properties to Flex. Imagine that. Wonder if they're working on it.
Yeah, I think it's not good that they don't mention anything about the next gen update. I would be really curious to know if they're at least working on something.
you feel like they must be. I
Yeah,
mean,
sure.
they're
Yeah.
supporting PlayStation VR. They're probably going to support PSVR too, right? It seems. I don't know. I mean, when there's PS5 support, but
For me, it would be the most exciting thing of them all, just because it will push what we can create in Dream so much more, because the PS5 is just incredibly powerful.
there's a lot of power sitting on the table. Like I mean, when you're, running Dreams, the PS4 version on a PS5, like, yeah, you could feel the brawn that's not being utilized.
Some of the things that I'm struggling most with when it comes to creating, and I've been trying to push the engine as much as I can with those 2.5 years now that I've been learning it, is especially also the paintings and the physicals. I wonder if they can extend that limit.
Yeah, it's kind of funny when you say that about the PS5 brawn. When we were doing the video about creating buildings, I went to capture the thermometer and I tried to do it in like the test mode, but because I was doing it on the PS5, it was like 0 and 1% the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was like, this doesn't show the thermo I need. But luckily, it sort of works in the actual like edit view. So
yeah, I hope that's something they have coming in the future, because there's a lot of people creating on PS5s who want their creations to play well on a PS4, but sometimes you're in the dark. I made an animation this spring and released it, had no idea. Like it was running at like 5 frames per second on the PS4. Had no clue. It was flawless on PS5. Wow. And I mean, test mode wouldn't show you anything. But then it turned out I had done a thing where I used physics to place a bunch of objects, and I had forgotten to make them not movable anymore. So there was like 100 bingo chips that all fell in a pile at the beginning of the scene, and then they stayed movable the whole time. So you couldn't even see that there was a problem. It was just like, yeah, just destroyed your PS4.
If I could answer a question from chat, that'd be great.
Sure can.
So Mikeko brings a good point. People don't always think about when they say PC, PS5. Is that if you create stuff just for one platform, you potentially split the community.
Yeah.
So something like ray tracing is an example that's easy to go to. However, if we can leverage something the PS4 is already capable of, like the regular light reflection, right, where like the actual luminance is a reflection, not necessarily a real reflection, but
yeah,
or even screen space reflections, that could be like the fallback, so that when you run a Dream in PS5 and it has higher end stuff, again, this is all medium molecule speculation, who knows what they're up to, but you could do a ray traced reflection or shadow or whatever, and on the PS4 version, oh sorry, I don't know if you hear the dog going crazy, it wouldn't have that function, but it could default to a different render style or just a specular reflection at that point.
I've heard people speculate about ways that you could improve the PS5 version of Dreams without reducing the compatibility on a PS4.
I think it's also important, especially like for something like Noguchi's Bell, which is playable on a PS4 vanilla, right?
Yeah.
Like if we do take advantage of the PS5 to do like even better visual things, we don't want somebody who's on PS4 to play it and then have like a sub 30 or 15 frame per second experience. They too should at least get the best possible experience on their platform. While PS5 might benefit from some other things or 60 frames or whatever.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see what people do, but I share the same concern about splitting the community. Like we're talking about a game where there's usually 1,000 or less active players at any given time.
I do think multiplayer and a lower barrier to entry, to just anyone who's not watching Noguchi's Bell on YouTube, if they have it on Dreams, most likely he has already done the tutorial. But if somebody hears about it, like a friend, and you tell them, "Oh, go check it out in Dreams," they've got to do the intro, the intro tutorials, all that stuff, and then eventually can actually search it. Mm-hmm. So and in the future, perhaps some updates to that, or even just the ability to send an invite to someone in PlayStation, be like, check this out, and it auto launches a Dreams viewer, anything, that's kind of the stuff that I hope we see to help Dreams grow, have a bigger audience.
It's a really cool idea.
I feel like the new player experience, I hope it's something that they're working on improving for a future update, because it does feel like there's a big hump to get over, even just to play things. Like it feels like a lot. and I
But
think it can
luckily,
be
by the
overwhelming
nature
to some
of
people.
being an animated series, we can also be on YouTube and stuff. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but not everyone gets that wider audience.
Yeah, next update is looking really good. It's looking very good.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it said
I
that
think the last hype we had was when they finally updated so that you could have audio importing. I think that was finally a great fix to the whole audio thing. So
That was a
super
big
thrilled about
relief.
that.
Yeah, that one was
Huge.
a big relief. 15 seconds was a pretty big buzzkill. But yeah, the longer limit and the audio importer, both massively helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine all of the would-be Quentin Tarantinos out there who want to make a dialogue-heavy piece, and they have to do it 15 seconds at a time.
Or music. I mean, I know Dreams isn't built to be a digital audio workstation. I know that's not the design intention. But as soon as you're making music, you're making multi-track music in this platform. If you're a person who's done it outside the platform, or if you're just a singer, a person who plays instruments, like you want it to be easier to do. And the difference between 30 seconds and 15 seconds is huge. Especially when you need to press record and set down a controller and then pick up an instrument. And yeah, it gets pretty hairy.
Gibson, were you trying to say something earlier?
It becomes a two-person job at that point.
Yeah, I was thinking one of the things that are gonna come in the next update is that empty keyframes. There's gonna be an indicator for when a keyframe isn't used, and I think that's pretty great because there's sometimes when I put down a keyframe and it can't hear me.
That's
True.
That's a really good one. A really good one.
True.
You can
My
go.
internet is really slow.
You can go to if you could go look in some of my projects. Every once in a while, you'll find a keyframe with just a question mark on it. It's just like I put this here. I don't remember. Did it do something? Was it? I don't know. Let's just call it question mark, and we'll leave it there forever and see what happens. I don't want to test without it. Jet Yeti says, can we ask questions to the creators? If anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them in chat. I do want to wind down soon because we've gone over the time that I've promised these wonderful people that I would keep them. And so let's get any final questions in now. And yeah, and if anyone has any final thoughts in the chat here, feel free to speak up. I'm going to give you a link to that Kickstarter one more time.
I do also want to say I am grateful and honored and happy to be some random guy out of Silicon Valley, California, working with these people all around the world. And I always am, in previous things too. But Cyberpunk Samurai it's close to home here. It's something that I was doing, my own little stories of in the past, and to see like an actual series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Likewise.
I feel the
This is
same.
something really special.
Jet Yeti in the chat
me too.
asks, will any of the assets be available to the public at any time?
Regarding that, the trailer music I actually made for the Gamescom trailer, I had asked if I could release it, but I still haven't gotten the okay. So, I'd love to release it though. I don't know if that's okay with you, Michael. If it's okay to release it, or
I think we should ask Hack Jazz for that because he's been dealing with music. So I cannot say yes to that, or he would probably be angry at me.
okay.
As a
It
person,
makes sense.
as a person who's not involved
but-
in the music, I would suggest not releasing it. If any of the music that you used for the series, if it's gonna be, I mean, since that was a trailer, maybe I would feel differently if it were me. But if it's something that's in the series at all, I would hate to be I would hate to hear it in a bunch of other dreams, and then for someone to hear it 10 times in other dreams and then hear it in Noguchi's Bell would be disappointing, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I've definitely had that effect. Then there are certain pieces of music that they tend to come up a lot in dreams.
Kind of the same with the other assets, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would make the case, in the future, as Tapjaws pointed out, perhaps after the series is done, or for something that's like kind of a prop that might be noticed from Noguchi's Bell. Like, hey, that's that little, cute thing that was only in Noguchi's Bell shows up in other people's art. That could be a thing. But I think for now, just like,
what might be a good workaround on that?
What's up?
Sorry?
I've got a workaround. Instead of actually releasing like the full face rig for the community, which I don't think would be a good idea, seeing as Arseni and others have worked so hard to basically prioritize that, and there's more than just one guy's hands in it. Maybe building a sculpt that is posed and finished like a sculpture that is made freely to the public. For example, like an action figure, but the face doesn't, with the rig, that kind of thing. So certain proprietary aspects of the sculpt is not available, but everything else is. Just a thought.
Yeah, that would be a good idea, I think.
There is a Noguchi's Bell plastic dreamer. So,
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to make your own Noguchi's Bell series, you could start there. Maybe that could be how you could give the characters to the rest of the Dreamiverse.
Yeah.
You just keep making plastic dreamers out of all the characters. And I want to see the version. I want to see Bivson animating like, Lou and Green Guy, like playing with the little Noguchi's Bell figures, having a little fight. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I want to see someday.
We should bring that.
But then, Keld, I think you'll agree, we're then going to need like action figures of the writing team.
Action. Oh, wait, you've already got one of
Why
me in
just
dreams.
the writing team?
If you want a Keld puppet, you've got options in dreams. Like, you're good to go. And people have taken advantage of that in various ways that I will not get into right now.
Oh.
Well,
Let me
all
just
we need
say,
is
I'd
3D
never
printing.
seen. I didn't realize that Rule 34 could apply to me. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Just obey games. I would love to have 3D prints up in Noguchi's Bell. Like, I have figures all lining my desk, and I would love to have Musashibo and Noguchi up here. And a cap.
Time. That would be so cool.
IRL minifigures.
I'm just wondering how the 3D printing will work.
Is it possible
with
now
Flex.
to do that?
That's something
Not yet.
weird.
I mean, it's not for the public.
I see.
They have done it internally. Like, they have 3D printed things, Media Molecule
I got to
has.
hold them in my hand like 6 years ago or 5 years ago and it's still not here. So
What did you tell us? Tell us. What did you hold in your hand?
so I had the little bear character.
Oh, really?
And
Francis?
the sculpt from Kareem that's like the thinking pose or whatever.
Whoa.
And then there was that mecha robot that I think John made.
Whoa. You touched these things in
3D
real life?
printed, or is it sculpted?
It was 3D printed from their sculpts, yeah. So back during PlayStation Experience 2015 or 16, I think, Media Molecule was in my side of the world, and I got to go to a little fan meetup and actually try Dreams years before I could then play it again, which was kind of like a double-edged sword. It was really cool, but then I was just like pining for Dreams for multiple years.
Yeah.
And in front of the monitor, Kareem and other people would take turns, like, with the move controllers. They just had them sitting there, 3D printed models that they had painted.
Wow.
So you just took it?
Yeah, well, they were just there. You were allowed to interact. We were all in a bar just drinking and stuff. I had drinks with Kareem and with Siobhan and all that. Like Siobhan, sorry. just watching this engine and just, it even crashed a few times because, it's early software. But that was my first time like seeing Dreams and seeing the 3D sculpts and going, oh my God, I can make like characters for Dungeons and Dragons and then 3D print them. Alas, we must wait.
Oh. Well, Notre Dame points out that they did move it to in the works with the latest update. They removed the future category altogether. And my read on that is that things that are coming, things that are further down the pipe, they're just not talking about. I mean, they're working on things that they haven't mentioned yet. We just don't know what or when or how.
Someone I spoke with thought they replaced in the works or future with in the works.
I mean, they sort of did, but it sends a different message for sure. The future feels like, we're kind of poking at this right now, but we're not like, fully committed on it. But Tapgiles went to their offices for a day last year.
I know that Media Molecule is fairly well engaged with the community overall in terms of their live streams and that kind of thing. But as far as giving news and information, I think they could work on their engagement a little bit better.
It's always been like that, but with this event, we
I
also
know.
had it from the German community. We met them at Gamescom when it was still, and we also had a release event at Berlin, which was really cool. And Mark and Tom and Liam were there, and we got to play Dreams there in the story before it actually launched a few hours later. It was really cool.
Awesome.
I'm so jealous of all of you. I was supposed to visit MM and had a flight booked and was going to TwitchCon EU with Mrs. Bjones. It was going to be amazing, and that was April 2020. That was supposed to happen. So you can imagine how that went. We got a refund on our plane tickets and lodging. That's the happy part. Playing Dreams at a bar with Kareem and holding 3D. You didn't know how good you had it then. I'm sure you didn't.
I absolutely did. I was very grateful to be invited there. I met a bunch of members from the community that I've had known for years from Little Big Planet, like Danny Berbera, or Hyper Dude, sorry. And then other familiars like Greg Miller, who I just know from being in the area. He's a big Dreams fan too, so I was just happy to see him there, although he was very drunk. So
he was probably happy to see you too.
I was geeking out, and I had friends there that were just looking at me funny that I was just like, huddled in this like little group in front of a TV, going, "Oh my God, this is Dreams,"
That's amazing. That's amazing. All right, I need to actually wrap it up for everybody. Before we close out,
well, you're just too goddamn engaging, young man.
We got. Everyone got all warmed up. The conversation's flowing. Like this is what happens, and then I never want to end it. I could talk to you guys for another hour.
By the way,
oh, you're very welcome. Michael, do you have any?
Thank you for that. Really,
you're so welcome. Thank you all for being here. It's been a treat. I think we all started out a little nervous. It's a new thing for me, and being a creative person, getting interviewed about your work is always a little. I've been in your seats before, and it's always a little nerve-wracking. I appreciate you all being there. Michael, is there anything that we haven't touched on that you want to touch on, other than to say, help us out in that Kickstarter if you can?
I think that's the only thing I want to talk about. Just check out the Kickstarter page, and considering a donation would mean the world to us.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, once again, we're not buying an island. No one is retiring on this money. But it's a neat step forward, and I think it's a great thing for Dreams and the team, and I certainly.
And I hope everyone knows that they will be able to see the series even without Kickstarter. So don't feel bad about it. Think about this as just another opportunity to put something you might love, such as dreams, out there to the world more. So
Yeah.
even just sharing
Yes.
the link to it, just really helps get people's mind on it, and if they
Yeah, and-
subscribe, that if they back it, that's all the
And
better.
to your point, I think that is really important to underline. Noguchi's Bell episode 2 will be free to watch in Dreams and on YouTube. It's just Kickstarter supporters will get it a few weeks earlier. That's the difference. So you get to see it a little bit earlier than everyone else.
Yeah,
If,
and hopefully I'm not stepping on anyone's toes here as far as the management goes. The episodes and like how much we're looking for and all that, it's kind of averaged out. But in something like animation and creation, none of that is set in stone. Like depending on how much we can get invested into us, like that's what backing is, right? You're investing money into an idea, into a team, into creation. What we create will just would allow people to like not have to create this in the wee hours of the night, like in our little bit of free time, if we still have to fully commit to like surviving on a regular day job. This idea is honestly to empower fellow artists for something that you may have really liked, or the idea that you really like, to actually have the time and commitment to create something in less than 2 years, like instead of for just one episode or whatever.
yeah.
I've happily supported lots of like projects like this on Kickstarter myself, just because if I love something, of course I want to help some of the people like take more time to work on it and produce something that I enjoy.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Well, on that note, once again, and for the last time, thank you for being here. It's been a delight, and I look forward to working with you guys and to seeing. I mean, honestly, I get just as excited to see these reveals as everyone else, because I don't see everything that happens, on other people's PlayStations, and very exciting for me.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
So
Yeah, me too.
until next time, I will say to everyone listening, please keep dreaming.
Sayonara.
That's the name of the show. So that's good. It's just,
Keep dreaming.
Keep dreaming.
keep dreaming, everybody.
Keep dreaming. Yeah.